think it's very important for homeowners in general to do periodic inspections of their home to, in fact, find out whether, in fact, they have any water intrusion issues, and if they do, to respond to them promptly.
We always give a little story that most people are better educated on how to maintain a car than a house. And that's it. On a car, everybody knows to change the oil, rotate the tires, change your brakes. On a house, people do reactive maintenance. And that is they wait till the water comes leaking in from the roof or water comes in the basement. So the first thing is to learn to do preventive maintenance. And that's caulking, grading, all the easy, inexpensive maintenance items.
If you find any piping in your house that you have a leak or a little damp spot in the dry board underneath the cabinet space around the kitchen sink, get those things taken care of, and you'll end up saving yourself a whole lot of headache and heartache and trouble and money in the future. It's, I think, good maintenance policy for homeowners to take care of their prime investment.
With regards to the house and the homeowner, all the different components are going to require different inspection schedules.
The problem with mold is the fact that most often mold is not caused by the major flood events. Major flood event being something like a hot water heater break or a major water line rupturing in your house. And the reason for that is those are the events that generally you're going to be aware of very quickly. The problems with mold generally develop from the problems that you don't know about. In other words, the slow leak in the roof, the leak that's been going on for a very long period of time of which you're not generally aware. So what we recommend is that homeowners do a periodic inspection and make sure that you're maintaining your homes with respect to caulking, with respect to sprinkler issues, with respect to any cracking of stucco or crazing of building materials that could be significant and could later develop into a mold problem.
I still find mold growth in houses that look immaculate. I have found mold in houses that have 3 housekeepers full-time in that particular house, yet there's still mold. I look for locations where I can find it. In this particular situation with 3 housekeepers, I could not even find it where I normally found it. However, the air samples do not lie, and this is where lab data is so important.
What they want to look for, just like you do in your car, you walk around your car, you look at the tires, you look at different visible conditions as to walk the house, and same thing, look for grading, look for something that's changed. Has there been a recent storm, wind? Walk around and look to see if you have blow off of your shingles, areas that could ice dam, trees growing too close that could damage the roof, siding, or foundation.
As you can see in the valley of this roof, we have a great deal of debris from the neighboring trees. And because this kind of clogs the drainage pathway, it's a way that the flashing actually ends up creating a moisture intrusion problem. The damming forces the water up under the flashing and then ends up creating a leak. So just simple, ongoing, yearly maintenance can resolve this kind of problem.
Many times it's just, again, taking a proactive stance with your house and doing preventive maintenance rather than reactive.
We have a raised bed next to the house. The water runs off the roof, pools in this area, and is transported actually underneath the house to the vent system. We actually have a crawl space here, and you can see it's all covered up, and any water that accumulates here drains directly under the house, where we have a perfect environment for mold growth.
Housekeeping skills are very important. Keeping the dust load down in the carpets, on the horizontal surfaces of the house, tabletops, sofas, anything where dust will settle is of vital importance.
If you insist on shampooing a wall-to-wall carpet, I would recommend that dehumidification and excessive blowing of air be present to assist and expedite the drying of the carpet. Very typically, we can get the upper level of the carpet dry, but it's the backing of the carpet and particularly the padding underneath that remains wet.
Whenever you go away for an extended period of time, we recommend that you do shut off your main water line and then drain the faucet so that the water in the system can drain out. Just open up some kitchen faucets outside hose bibs and then close those back before you leave. Also turn your water heater off because you don't want to run it dry with no water in it, or just have it heating while you're gone. So if it's an electric water heater, shut it off at the breaker. If it's gas, just turn it down to vacation setting.
Typically, with new grading, by code, we're required to have a minimum of 4 inches of gap beneath the sweep screed. If there's wood siding, a 6-inch gap. Very quickly, with gardening and landscaping, and we pile on dirt and mulch, this buffer and our protection is lost invariably, and very often we see that there is negative grade towards the house. One, to be a positive grade so the water drains away from the house, and we want the level of the grade to be below the sill plate of the main structure.
We highly recommend installation of an anti-burst hose at your clothes washer. What can happen is the rubber hoses can actually bubble up and explode or fail, and you can end up with free-flowing water in the house. And if you look at the manufacturer of the hose, they say that that the washer hose bib should be shut off if you're not using it, because they're not rated for constant water pressure. So you definitely want to install those.
There's spores everywhere. We're not going to live in a spore-free environment. Don't ever think you will. And I love schools that say, we want, you're going to guarantee there's 0 spores at the end of the project. I mean, anybody that could guarantee that would be either a liar or not really understanding of the situation. There are going to be spores flying around. They're in our environment outdoors. There's all different types of organisms. Stachybotrys chartarum exists in the outside world. That's newsflash here. It doesn't just grow on sheetrock after water incursion problems. There is Stachybotrys in the outdoor environment, composting cellulose materials. The point is, we're not exposed to it in high concentration. Where it gets to be a concern is when we bring these organisms into our indoor environment and let them start growing and start really expanding, and now our exposure to these organisms becomes a lot higher.